This was the best part of the reunion watch. One more time, one more time. Got her. Hey y'all, it's your captain for all things creative with your Real Housewives of New York season 14 reunion part 1 review. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. If you're returning, thank you so much. Let's get into this review. Now, this is just gonna be a quick take. If you want a longer review, remember to check out the Lean on Mondays at 8:30. We do a longer live review on YouTube. But let's see what happened. So basically, the episode starts with everybody talking about Uba's angry text, and when they finally, get out of the makeup rooms and Andy doing his rounds, and they're all on stage. Andy asks them basically how they all felt about the season, and Jenna, kind of as the spokesperson for the group, she says that yeah, she just don't want to be compared to the past housewives. So then Erin gets the first package of flashbacks, and then they talk about her moving out of Tribeca. And then Jessel makes a joke about Tribeca being up and coming and how she made Tribeca happen. And then I was like, you can't be serious. And everyone's like, she's joking. Even Sai was like, girl, do you not get it. And then Jessel explains, oh, yeah, I did not build Tribeca, but, everybody was tweeting about it, talking about it. So Erin shows she's so stiff as usual. Next, someone asks Erin how her business is going because she got some called homegirls, and then they ask what's it's like working with Frederick, and she says that Frederick is the same person as he is on TV. That's when you meet him, and then out of nowhere, Uba just takes a shot at Jenna and says that yeah, unlike Jenna, basically saying that unlike Frederick, Jenna is weaker on TV than she is in person. And then Jenna explains herself and says, well, she doesn't really want to get in the fray and get in people's business. Because Uba says she's always hiding, from drama. And then it was like, oh, if you didn't want to get in the fray, why did you say you were Team Erin when, the glasses gate happened? But then Andy stops Uba and says, hold on, we'll get to that later. So this is round one of Andy and all of them kind of trying to control Uba, but Uba, she came into the reunion hot. She will not be cooled off anytime soon. So next, Erin breaks down about how hard a summer it was because her mother was sick, and she also explained how she had to grow up fast, taking care of a bunch of her siblings when her dad became a single father. And then I'm going to talk about Erin having a pattern of not serving food. And then Andy explains to Erin what I said all along, that if you invite people at a dinner time event, you have to serve dinner because her event was like at 8 o'clock or something, right? And she was like, no, it's just finger food. And then they also show Patrick's shady tweet saying that he was hungry at Erin's event. And they all call him the seventh housewife. And I'm Team Paffett for sure. Next, there's like a mini Erin Versailles moment happening over the shakshuka. And then Sai calls Erin a liar. And then Erin calls Sai out for always calling everybody else a liar. And then Sai says she had proof that Erin was lying, and she pulls out a podcast interview of Erin throwing Sai under the bus about Cheesegate. So then Sai uses that proof to continue to check Erin about lying about the cheese. And then Uba out of left field again says that they should all talk about how they didn't want Jenna on the show. And everyone was like, what? What are you talking about, Uba? So they all ignore Uba, who's again hot and a little bit irrational for this point. That was out of left field. But then they go back to talking about the cheese. So I kind of would have preferred if they would have explored what Uba was saying. I think she misspoke. Or maybe she was trying to say that there were some people who didn't like Jenna at first, but I don't know. Who knows what Uber meant? Next, Erin explains the difference between her being crass and rude with like her being, I guess, direct. And Uba stands up for Erin a little bit and says she's not rude, but she's a ish starter and a gaslighter. So then Jenna gets the next flashback packet. Jenna then says that fashion helped her gain her self esteem. And she talks about what it was like to lose her mom, but also, still be healing from how hard it was to deal with her mom through her own mothering of Beckett, her son. And then Bryn also relates and kind of cries with Jenna about, her also missing out on love because of her situation with her parents. And then Andy asks Bryn if she has similar concerns about what kind of mom she will be as well. And then all the girls rally around Bryn and say she's going to be a great mom. And then Uba breaks down, says she misses her mom. And then they all say that, like, her advice, Uba's advice about, cherishing your parents while they're still there helped a lot of people. And Erin says she made up with her mom. And then Bryn says thousands of people also made up with their mom because of her. And then Sai gets to talking about her not being emotional. And her instead wanted to make people laugh and be like a bright energy instead of being emotional. And Andy looks at her side. I was like, you miss just mean girl talking about making people laugh. And then Andy asked the girls, is y'all experience with Sai her making you laugh? And then Jessel nicely and politely says no. Sai has a hard exterior and she's not doing what she thinks she's doing with her personality. So then they get to talking about Jenna again. And then Sai reiterates kind of what Uba was saying before, but in a more clear way. And she says that Jenna doesn't celebrate her wins, and Uba agrees that that's more what she was trying to say earlier. And she says that off camera, Jenna does celebrate her wins, but on camera, she downplays herself. And then Bryn kind of stands up for Jenna and applauds her for being the most vulnerable, for sharing her teeth and stretch marks and lopsided boobs, I think she said, which was funny. And then Andy asked Jenna about her new boo. And Jenna says that they met after taping and she had a crush on her before, so she's happy about it. And the girl met her son as well. Then question comes in asking for Erin to clarify if she understands now why Jenna was being so insecure about her body now that she saw the show, because Erin was downplaying Jenna's need to tan and basically saying that Erin only wanted to fly business class. That was like one of the bigger beefs in the season. And then Erin apologizes for how she spun that business class story and for downplaying Jenna's insecurity. And Jenna says she did call Erin and say that that felt horrible to her. And them two hash it out. Sai also apologizes to Jenna and admits that she was jealous about her upgrading her ticket, which I knew. And then they also talk about their hypocrisy with Sai being an influencer, but getting on Jenna for, giving out her gifts and collabs. And once again, Jenna clarifies that she don't need them to influence her, that the stuff she gave them, people can't even buy in the store anymore. So it wasn't about boosting sales or having the expectation of them posting because half of those things were old collabs anyway. Bryn then asked if the double standards around how the girls treated Jenna made her hate Jenna a little bit. Then she says she actually kind of hated Erin more because Erin had a double standard and Erin has a pattern again of like denying her stuff, which she's gonna do. Her and Sai do a lot in this reunion. And then Uba stands up for her and is like, no, y'all were nicer to Jenna and y'all was kind of kissing Jenna's butt, Aaron. So then they also asked why people are dismissive about Jenna's anxiety again, and Sai apologizes. And then Aaron basically says like a sorority and they all get hazed. And then they show a clip of Jessel find out that Jenna's real name is Judith and hating it. And then she says, well, she likes Judy Bloom, who's also a Judith, and Andy tries to side eye Jessel like Judy Bloom's name is not Judith, but it is Judith. So shout out to Jessel. While Andy was trying to make her look silly, but Jessel was right. And then Uba gets the next flashback package. And then after that, they try to figure out why Sai got angry at Brent for revealing Uba's secret about her Connecticut man. And then Sai made some lame excuse about the Connecticut part being more important to keep a secret than the fact that Uba was seeing someone. But then Uba corrects and says, no, all of it was important. So you should have told. And then Uba again randomly blames Aaron for starting the whole trend of spilling secrets, since she says Aaron was the one who told Sai about um, David rubbing her the wrong way with the why are you single question. Andy and everybody ignore Uba again for trying to go after Aaron. And then Andy asks Jessel what she thinks about the gossiping in the circle of trust. And then Jessel gets to eating up Aaron and Sai and says their comments about her marriage were disgusting. And she's totally right. She could have went in even more because really it's very offensive what they were saying about Pavitt himself, and then also the insinuations that, he would be scrolling around over there and that was like some kind of sex tourism situation. Papa did an Instagram post showing his trip and how he spent a lot of time in first class and the meals look really good. And he also showed all the different places that he ate at. So he kind of did like a food vlog. And then he did an interview also saying that it was weird that Aaron and Sai were acting like Vietnam was known for, relations and sexual tourism. And especially in light of like the Vietnam War and like propaganda movies like Full Metal Jacket that featured, Vietnamese women as prostitutes. Jessica could have called them out for anti-Asian racism if she wanted to. And especially since Vietnam is really more known for foods like pho soup and then Papa's favorite banh mi. But they took it all the way to like the stereotypes. So just ate them up. And she could go in even more. So I'm curious to see how she's going to handle them in part 2. So back to reunion. Jenna has her nipples out between segments when they're readjusting. And Jessica gets the final flashback package, as she should. Um, After the package, Jessel thanks Andy for putting her business in the streets for everyone to see. And Jessel says her and Pavitt's sex life is better. Andy then asks Jessel if she regrets telling the girls about her business, and she says no. And then she says, watching her and Pavitt, she realizes things she could do better since they started out as friends and maybe got too comfy. So she wants to treat him better, which is nice. And then they all ask how bad the wine was at her event. And they all say it was bad, but then she says she got it for free. And then Aaron tries to roast her about the wine. It says, well, you were talking about my event when your wine was bad. And then Jess was like, yeah, well, my stuff was free and it was sponsored. And I was like, yeah, but my stuff was sponsored. But Jess was like, yeah, but I didn't put it all up on the invitations. And Andy even backs Jessel up. So Aaron had to retreat with that. Then Jessel says that the twins started school, and they then asked Jessel why she judged how good the school would be by the charcuterie board, and she said, well, it's the attention to details that mattered. and that Papa also liked the food. Then they asked how her apartment stays clean all the time. She says the twins actually hate mess themselves and like to be clean. Then they asked Jess about the rumor that she moved to New York for the show, and she says no. And she explains the timeline that she had lived in New York for 10 years with her uncle, like we all know. Then she moved to LA, and that's where the twins were born. Then they was in Texas, where they do still have a home, but then they ended up in New York for opportunities. And she says that she might even move to London since part of the reason for all the moving was so that their kids could be closer or easier flight away from her parents. And then they basically said that she and Pava are nomads who like to move around. Then they call outside for not believing that Jessel and Pava has relations down to the staycation. And then Sai acts like she's not going to talk about their marriage. She says she shouldn't talk about their marriage, but then says that she doesn't think that Pava and Jessel have a good connection, even though she had just said that she shouldn't speak about their marriage. And then the girls call out Sai for doing exactly what she says she wouldn't do. And then part one basically ends with Jessel eating up Aaron and Sai again about being postpartum and explaining that, it was wrong for them to insinuate that her husband would cheat with her for having that phase with no sex because it's normal, like especially after going through all the rounds of IVF that she did. And then Sai and Aaron both tried to deny what they said, and then Jessica said, "No, you did insinuate that." And then the episode goes off. So for the reunion, Bryn kind of was the queen. She was calling out who she needed to call out rationally, and she had my favorite line where she told Sai that she couldn't hear her because Sai got the end of the couch on Andy's bad side, I think. So that was a good read, and she also, was as passionate as Uber, but Uber was not rational with the passion. But Bryn was able to combine passion and rationality, which is why she's the queen. Who my heart went out to, obviously Jessel, because she put a lot out there this season, and the girls were making fun of her. She had a big target on her back. She's holding her own. She came ready. She was a little quiet at the beginning of the reunion, but by the end, she was speaking up as she should. So I'm excited to see her speak up for herself more next episode. And Jenna also shared even more about, her insecurities and fears. And again, she's definitely the most vulnerable and relatable of all the women. Even at the reunion, she shined. The naughty one has got to be Ufa. She just randomly going after people. People are catching strays. Poor Jenna caught strays. Erin was catching it at times where she didn't necessarily deserve it, because I don't agree that Erin was the root cause of the secret of her boyfriend spilling. That's totally on Sai. I don't know why Uba wants to throw Sai a bone so bad about spilling the boyfriend secret, because it really is all on Sai. And Sai even apologized, but for some reason Uba was trying to pin Aaron too. So she's the naughty one for that. But overall, her interjections were interesting, but a little naughty because they're a little irrational sometimes. And who's in timeout? Definitely Aaron and Sai for not owning their stuff. Like, again, when Jessel confronted them about the smack that they were talking about her marriage and Papa cheating, they're denying. They're like, "Oh, I didn't say that," and that really makes me very wary when people can lie like that. I would say the devil is a liar, so I don't put it past people that lie. There's an old saying too: you scratch a lie, you find a thief. You don't have to lie about silly things, especially things that are on camera. I don't understand, because they're just gonna roll the footage back. So hopefully they own up to all the insinuations and things that they were making. But they're definitely really solidifying their places as the villains of the season. So with the last part of the reunion, hopefully he'll resolve, and maybe they'll be humanized a little bit more, but they're not doing any favors for themselves by lying, put it that way. And predictions, I know they played a scene, I think, of Sai breaking down a little bit more about her mom. So maybe that's how they'll humanize her by showing her um, getting a little bit more emotional. And I know Uba's also gonna break down, so the chip that she has on her shoulder hopefully will be resolved. So that's the reunion. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And remember, you're the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. Bye.